What I've found in the healing process is every single person comes out different than when they started. And the biggest thing that will slow us down is an expectation that we can go about our life in the same way when we're on the other side of it. Okay, so often people with chronic illness will come and they'll just be like, can you please get me to this place where I can go back to what I was doing before? And like we said, everything's cause and effect, right? So whatever you were doing before is part of the causes that got you sick. And it takes time to come into that, right? So that's just one example that's pretty obvious. Like, you got to look at the causes. It's why we got into the place that we get to, discomfort or dissatisfaction. And the ancient texts talk about, refining and redirecting our energy management towards our priorities. It's a big part of the healing process, getting away from what we typically spend our energy on and accessing a deeper source of us, but then using that intelligently in line with our instinct and our priorities, which is something we've spoken about to great length, getting back in touch with the natural instinct. So what happens though is you got to start to figure out who the hell you are. And so often, my clients, my patients, everyone, all of us, myself included, the healing process will result in a change of our identity. Not because we're having an identity crisis, but often we have lived an identity that actually isn't us. It was this construct that was kind of formed in an effort to survive. And we think that it's like our self-esteem or our intelligence or all these things that help us maintain a sense of control, but it's actually just this thing that we had to create. It's kind of like a house of cards. It's going to topple the minute that you devote yourself towards truth, or actually kind of the minute that you even step on that path. And that's why it gets so uncomfortable when you start to think that you need to change something, because you're trying to hold on to the past, but also become something new. So what is really amazing about this is we can actually still find an incredible stability within ourselves, despite all of this change that has to happen, because we're not supposed to just stay how we are forever. We're supposed to evolve. And we worked with this in class. Our kidneys, it's our capacity. Remember, our kidneys are our capacity. Okay, so does that mean kidney health is going to get you through all the changes? To an extent, what we find is when we lose stability with our identity, the only place we can find stability is actually in our capacity, is in the well within ourselves of what our potential is. The well, the cauldron, it's also called in the Taoist text, is referring to this deep capacity within us all, this deep potential for all of life. And it's really hard to trust in that as a source of anything, inspiration, energy, because it's just this abstract idea when we're holding on to all of our identities and all of our areas of control and all the ways that we try to keep ourselves together. But to really go into the healing process in a meaningful way that we're all kind of trying to pursue, we've got to kind of let go of that rope and find strength in something that can feel a little more abstract, but is actually the only truth thing that you can really rely on. It's the only truth of who you are, is your potential, which is always changing and always growing.